Hey there, treasure hunters, coin collectors, and all-around penny pinchers. What if I told you there's a coin out there? Yes, a single, regular-looking penny that could make you a millionaire overnight. I'm not talking about some ancient Roman coin or pirate gold. I'm talking about a 1949 no-mint Mark Lincoln Memorial penny worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. That's right, 1 cent could buy you a mansion, a muscle car collection, and still leave you enough for a lifetime supply of tacos. Now, before you flip over your couch cushions or raid your kid's piggy bank, stick around. In this video, we're diving deep, like national treasure level deep, into the story behind this unassuming little copper coin that's making millionaires. We'll talk history, how to identify one, what makes it valuable, and I'll even share a funny personal story about the time I almost spent a fortune on a bag of Trail Mix. So grab your coin jar, make yourself comfy, and get ready to find out if you're unknowingly sitting on a gold mine disguised as a penny. Let's take a step back in time. The year was 1949. The US was fresh out of World War II. Harry Truman was in office, gas was 17 cents a gallon, and the average new home cost about $7,000. In the world of coins, the Lincoln penny was already a staple, first minted in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Now here's the twist. The penny we're talking about today wasn't made in some secret mint or printed with unicorn tears. It's a 1949 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, struck in Philadelphia. Why no mint mark? Back then, Philly didn't stamp a mint mark on their coins. Nothing unusual, right? But this particular penny, this exact year, this version, has some surprises baked into its coppery little face. Okay, so why would anyone fork over $1.1 million for something you usually leave at the bottom of a vending machine? While millions were minted, very few survived in pristine condition. I mean, this coin is over 70 years old. Most of them were lost, spent, corroded, or turned into jewelry by someone named Doris in 1973. The big bucks are reserved for those in MS-68 red condition. That means the coin has never been circulated, has its full original red copper color, and looks like it just came off the mint yesterday. Some of the most valuable 1949 pennies have minting errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks. Collectors go bananas for this stuff. Seriously, coin nerds lose their minds over a good die clash. Some folks just love the era and the design. Nostalgia drives prices higher than gas on a holiday weekend. None. If it has a D or S below the date, it was made in Denver or San Francisco, not Philly. Still cool, but not the one we're after. Look for that fiery red copper tone. Not brown, not chocolate, red. Like just got minted this morning red. Sharp edges, no scratches, no wear. If Abe Lincoln looks like he got into a bar fight, it's probably not worth $1 million. Use a magnifying glass to look for doubling in the words liberty or in God we trust. If you see it, jackpot potential. A good rule of thumb. If your penny looks like you could use it as a mirror, call a coin grader. Immediately. Now for the story I promised. About 5 years ago, I was at this flea market in Ohio. There was this elderly gentleman selling a jar of old coins. $1.20 for the whole thing. I saw a couple of wheat pennies on top, but figured it was all junk. I passed. Instead, I spent my last $20 on trail mix and a novelty. I love bacon mug. Fast forward to 2 weeks later. I see a post online from another collector who went to that same flea market. Turns out the old guy had a 1949 penny in nearly mint condition. Sold it for $15. It was later graded MS-67 red and auctioned off for nearly $800,000. Yep. I literally traded $1 million coin for a handful of almonds and raisins. I still have the mug though. It mocks me every time I pour coffee into it. Contact a trusted coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you exactly what you've got. Seriously, never ever clean a coin. That's like trying to improve a Picasso with glitter glue. If your coin is legit, big auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers can help you sell it for top dollar. There are Facebook groups, Reddit threads, and forums full of collectors who are always hunting for the next big find. Keep it safe. $1 million coin deserves more protection than your grandma's wedding ring. If this story has lit a fire under your coin jar, here's how to stay in the game. Check your pockets, jars, And even Coinstar reject trays. You'd be amazed what slips through. Visit yard sales and estate sales. People don't always know what they have. Some collectors go through entire rolls of pennies looking for that one gem. It's tedious, but totally worth it. Understanding terms like BU, proof, or planchet makes you a smarter hunter. At the end of the day, coin collecting is like fishing. Sometimes you get a boot, sometimes you get a whale. Everything you need to know about the 1949 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that could turn your spare change into a life-changing jackpot. If you've made it this far, give yourself a round of applause and maybe a flashlight and magnifying glass to go check your coin stash. Who knew one tiny penny could pack such a powerful punch? Huh? The stories like these that remind us. Sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest value. Kind of like that weird sock you've had since college. Don't throw it out. It might be made of gold. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button like you're squashing a spider under a rare nickel. Hit subscribe so you never miss another treasure hunting tip, coin collector's guide, or story of fortunes found in the most unexpected places. And hey, if you've got an old coin story of your own, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear about the treasures you've found, or the ones you let slip away over trail mix. Hey, coin hunters and treasure seekers, welcome back to the channel that turns pocket change into potential paydays. If you're someone who checks your spare change like it's the stock market, then buddy, you are in the right place. Now let me hit you with a question. What if I told you that a humble little penny from 1960, yep, that coppery coin just chillin' in your junk drawer, could be worth up to $1.2 million? Sounds like a late-night infomercial, right? But today, we're diving deep into the 1960 D. Lincoln Memorial Cent, a tiny treasure that's blowing up in the coin collector world. Stick around, because I'm not just going to explain why this penny's so valuable. We're going to laugh, learn, and maybe even dig through some old piggy banks together. And at the end, I'll share a personal story of the time I almost threw away a coin worth thousands. Yeah, it still haunts me. So grab a coffee, pull up a chair, and maybe raid your coin jar while you're at it. Let's get into it. All right, let's lay the groundwork. The 1960 D. Lincoln Memorial 1-cent penny. What does the D mean? It stands for Denver. That's where the coin was minted. In 1960, the U.S. Mint was pumping out Lincoln cents like hotcakes, but here's the twist. That year, they minted two major versions, the small date and the large date. The small date variation, especially the one from Denver, the 1960 D small date Lincoln cent, is the one collectors lose sleep over. Why? Because it was minted in lower quantities, and thanks to a few little quirks and minting mistakes, it's become one of the most desirable Lincoln pennies out there. And oh yes, we'll talk about those quirks in just a moment. You're probably thinking, come on man, it's a penny. How in the world can it be worth over $1 million? The real value comes from a combination of rarity, condition, and die varieties. Some 1960 D small date pennies were struck with proof-like features, ultra-sharp details, and brilliant red luster. When collectors find one in pristine condition, especially graded MS67 red or higher, it's like striking copper gold. You see, the mint was in a rush that year, and sometimes that leads to some, let's call them, oopsies. You've got double dies, repunched mint marks, and weird planchet errors that make each coin even more unique. One legendary error penny from this batch was auctioned for a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. $1.2 million. That's not a typo, my friends, okay? Now it's time to get a little nerdy, but hang with me. Let's talk how to actually spot the small date version. Look at the date on your 1960 D penny. Focus on the 9 and the 0. The 9 is more curled inward, like it's doing yoga. The 6 is higher up and has a tight loop. The 0 is perfectly round, like a donut, not oval. The whole date looks more compact and squished. The numbers are spaced out and beefier. The 0 is taller and stretched. The overall appearance is bulkier. You don't need a microscope, just a magnifying glass or one of those handy coin loops will do the trick. And if you've got good eyesight and patience, even better. So let's say you've found what you think is a 1960 D small date penny. Awesome. Now it's all about the grade. Coin grading runs from 1, like this penny's been through war, to 70, museum quality perfection. The most valuable pennies? They're graded MS65 or higher with blazing red color and 0 scratches. To get it officially graded, you'll want to send it to one of the big guys, like PCGS or NGC. They'll slab it in a hard case and give you that sweet number grade that determines its worth. And here's a tip. Even if it's not MS-67, a solid MS-64 or MS-65 small date 1960, D penny can still fetch hundreds, even thousands of bucks. Now, time for a quick story. A few years back, I was cleaning out my late uncle's coin jars. The man saved every coin he ever touched. I'm talking jelly jars full of change from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. I'm halfway through sorting when I spot this shiny 1960 D penny. I toss it aside, figured, it's old but probably worthless. But something about it bugged me. That date looked weirdly squished. Days later, I was reading a coin blog and saw the thing about small dates. I ran back to my junk pile, heart racing, praying that penny was still there. I flipped it, looped it, held it under 3 different lights. Turns out it wasn't the $1 million one, but it was a verified small date MS-64 quality. I sold it for $740. That paid for a new laptop. All right, if you're still with me, you're serious about the hunt. So here are a few strategies for finding one of these bad boys today. Hit up old coin rolls from the bank. Ask for penny rolls and go through them like a detective. Check estate sales and garage sales. Boomers have treasure. Buy mixed lots on eBay and sort them yourself. It's work, but it pays off. Coin shows and flea markets, great places to make deals and learn. Ask family members. You'd be amazed what Grandpa's been hoarding since 1959. Also, don't forget to use proper tools, a magnifying glass, good lighting, and coin reference books. Or just keep watching this channel. I got your back. So here's the moral of today's story. Check your change. That boring-looking penny from 1960 with the little D under Lincoln's shoulder? It could be your ticket to financial freedom or at least a new iPhone. The 1960 D Lincoln Memorial Penny, especially the small date variety in pristine condition, is a copper legend. Worth up to $1.2 million, it's a reminder that treasure doesn't always sparkle. Sometimes it's hiding in plain sight, and maybe right now it's jingling in your pocket. If you enjoyed today's video, do me a solid, hit that subscribe button. I drop weekly videos with tips on rare coins, error finds, and stories that'll blow your mind. Like, comment, share with your buddies who love treasure hunting, and hey, maybe you'll be the next one with $1 million penny story. Hey there, coin hunters, treasure seekers, and anyone who still has a jar full of pennies hiding under the kitchen sink, listen up. What if I told you that an ordinary-looking penny from 1965, with no mint mark and just 1 cent in face value, could be worth $1.3 million today? That's right, $1.3 million. Imagine reaching into your cup holder, pulling out a dusty penny, and realizing you're holding enough money to buy a beachfront home, a couple Teslas, or heck, retire early and live like a legend. Sounds insane, right? But it's real. This isn't just a myth or a tall tale you hear at coin shops or late-night YouTube rabbit holes. Today, we're going deep into the story of the 1965 no-mint mark Memorial Lincoln penny and why it's become one of the hottest hidden treasures in American coinage. Stick around, because not only are we going to tell you why this coin is worth millions, but I'm also going to share a personal story about how I almost spent a small fortune at a gas station and didn't even know it. So grab a coffee, kick back, and get ready for 50 minutes of fascinating coin facts, humor, strategy, and maybe a wake up call to start checking your change more often. So first things first, the 1965 Lincoln Memorial Penny. It features the classic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. That's the head's side for anyone not fluent in coin nerd. On the reverse, you've got the Lincoln Memorial Building. What's unique about the 1965 version? It has no mint mark. That's right, nothing under the date. Most coins have a tiny letter below the year showing where they were minted. P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. But in 1965, the U.S. Mint stopped putting mint marks on coins altogether as part of an effort to discourage hoarding during a national coin shortage. So technically, all 1965 pennies should have no mint mark. That's normal. What's not normal is that a tiny percentage of them have dramatic errors that make them rare and insanely valuable. All right, let's talk money. Not all 1965 pennies are created equal. Most of them? Worth a penny. Maybe 2 if you're lucky and find someone who appreciates vintage copper. But a select few? They've sold at auctions for hundreds of thousands, even over $1 million. Some 1965 Lincoln pennies were accidentally struck on silver planchets. That's the metal disc that gets stamped into a coin. That means instead of being struck on the standard copper alloy, these rare pennies were minted on leftover silver dime blanks. They weigh slightly less, they shine differently, and they sound like silver when dropped on a table. Collectors go wild for these mistakes because they're ultra-rare, historically significant, and let's be honest, just plain cool. One of these rare error coins. Authenticated, graded, and sold at a prestigious auction fetched around $1.3 million. So yes, your 1-cent coin might be worth more than your car. Or your house. A regular 1965 penny weighs about 3.11 grams. A silver dime blank weighs around 2.5 grams. If your 1965 penny is noticeably lighter, you might have a rare one. A standard 1965 penny has that familiar copper tone. But the silver planchet version? It's got a brighter, shinier, almost silver look. Some call it ghostly, like it knows it's worth a fortune. Gently drop the coin on a hard surface and listen. Copper coins make a dull thud. Silver coins? They sing. A high-pitched ring like an angel tapping a wine glass. Don't try to sell a rare coin off the street. You need to have it authenticated by a grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll inspect it, certify it, and assign it a grade. That's your ticket to serious money. Now let me tell you about the time I almost became a millionaire and didn't even know it. I was at this grimy gas station off Route 41, digging through my cup holder to grab change for a bottle of root beer. I remember it like yesterday. I picked up this dusty penny, 1965, no mint mark, looked shiny but didn't think much of it. Paid the guy, walked out sipping my soda, and didn't look back. A few weeks later, I was watching a video just like this one and learned about the silver dime planchet error. My heart stopped. That coin had looked weird. It sounded weird when it hit the counter. I even joked with the cashier about how shiny it was. I raced back to that gas station the next day. Asked if they had any old pennies. Guy looked at me like I was nuts. I offered him $20 for a handful of coins. No luck. That penny was gone. Maybe sitting in someone's couch cushion. Maybe in a vending machine in Tallahassee. Or maybe, just maybe, sold at an auction for over $1 million. Lesson learned. Always check your change. Always. Okay, so maybe you don't have the $1 million 1965 penny. But don't give up just yet. There are plenty of valuable Lincoln pennies floating around out there. Worth up to $1.70 million, famous for its double vision look. Worth thousands. Another biggie. Look at the word Liberty or the date. Should be zinc. If it's copper, jackpot. The letters A and M in America are unusually close. So if you're serious about coin hunting, build a habit. Get a jeweler's loupe. Buy a digital scale. Start a spreadsheet. And get comfortable with words like planchet, die crack, and mint state. You never know when your pocket change might be life-changing. All right, my fellow treasure hunters, here's the bottom line. That little 1965 no mint mark Lincoln penny in your drawer might just be your golden ticket, or should I say, silver ticket, to financial freedom. One error, one fluke at the mint, and you've got yourself a $1 million coin. Don't let another one slip through your fingers at a gas station like I did. Start checking your coins, weigh them, examine them, get them graded if they seem special. And most importantly, subscribe to this channel for more hidden gem coin stories, expert tips, and smart strategies to turn your spare change into a serious payday. Hit that like button if you learned something new today, leave a comment if you've got any rare coins in your collection, and tap the bell icon so you never miss out on our weekly videos. Hey coin hunters, treasure seekers, and penny pickers, welcome back to the channel that turns pocket change into pure gold. Alright, let me hit you with this. What if I told you that a dirty little penny, yes, a plain old 1973 Lincoln Memorial cent with no mint mark, could be hiding in your junk drawer, quietly worth over $1.4 million? No, I haven't lost my mind. I haven't been sniffing rolls of pennies all day, well, not today anyway. But this is real. That little coin you've been stepping on or ignoring for decades could be your one-way ticket to financial freedom. And today we're diving deep, like Mariana Trench, deep into the story, value, and magic behind the 1973 no mint mark Lincoln penny. So grab a snack, maybe a magnifying glass, and hold onto your coin jars. Because this is going to be 50 minutes of coin knowledge, quirky facts, and a few laughs from a guy who once thought a penny was just good for scratching lottery tickets. Spoiler, it's worth a lot more than that. This coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not include a mint mark on its coins back then. So when you see a penny from 1973 without a mint mark under the date, that's completely normal. But what's not normal is when that penny is graded mint state, has rare errors, or possesses exceptional toning and luster that coin collectors absolutely salivate over. This little beauty weighs 3.11 grams, has a diameter of 19 millimeters and is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. Basically, it's one of the last few all-copper warriors before the copper shortage led to a big change in the penny's metal content later in the 80s. But here's where things get juicy. How the heck does something I can find in a couch cushion sell for over $1 million? Well, my fellow coin detective, it comes down to three things: rarity, condition, and demand. If you've got a 1973 Lincoln penny that's been sitting in a protective sleeve since bell-bottoms were fashionable, you could be looking at a coin graded mint state 68 or even 69. That level of preservation is like finding a brand new car from the 70s with 0 miles on the odometer. Now, some 1973 no-mint mark pennies come with wild mint errors, double dies, off-center strikes, die caps, or even transitional planchet errors. These rare mistakes can multiply the value exponentially. We're talking collector catnip. And third, demand. Some high-end collectors are willing to pay massive premiums for top-grade examples of every date in the Lincoln Memorial series. If your 1973 penny checks all the boxes and hits the auction at just the right moment, you're staring down a $1.4 million payday. A few years back, I was helping my dad clean out his garage. We're going through this old coffee tin labeled fishing hooks and screws. Classic. I shake it and out come paper clips, a dead spider, a rusty washer, and oh look, coins. Mostly pennies. Now, I'm no expert at this point, but I pull one out, a 1973 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Nothing special, right? I actually almost tossed it. But something told me maybe the ghost of Abe Lincoln himself to hold onto it. Later that night, I Googled it and realized what I might be holding. Long story short, mine wasn't one of the ultra-rare ones, but it was worth a good $80. Not bad for a coin I almost buried in the trash. First off, grab a loupe or a good magnifying glass. Check for the following: the details on Lincoln's hair, the steps of the memorial, and the date should be crisp and defined. No visible wear. If it looks like it's never been touched, that's good. On the letters "In God We Trust" or the date. Any error could mean serious cash. Those with full, rich copper color are more desirable than brown ones. Next, if it looks promising, send it to a third-party grader like PCGS or NGC. That official grade is what turns your penny from a maybe to $1 million. Now, let's talk real numbers. The highest known auction result for a 1973 no-mint mark Lincoln penny graded MS-69 red fetched around $1.40 million. Because it was the finest known example. That means among thousands, maybe millions, this was the top dog. The Michael Jordan of pennies. Lower grades like MS-65 or MS-66 can still bring in hundreds or even thousands, especially if they have eye-catching toning or rare errors. So yes, this isn't just a hype video. These coins have sold for life-changing money. If you take away anything from today's episode, let it be this: pennies are not just pennies. Some are literal treasure hiding in plain sight. That 1973 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny might be rattling around in your change jar, stuck in your car's cup holder, or sitting quietly in a box of random junk you haven't opened since Blockbuster was a thing. So go search your coins. Flip through those rolls. Look closely. Because if you find the right one, your next trip to the bank could turn into a check for $1.4 million. And hey, if you liked hanging out today, if you learned something, or if I just made you laugh a little while we talked about coins, do me a solid. Hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and ring the bell so you never miss another tip on turning pocket change into prosperity. We've got more rare pennies, nickels, quarters, and dollar coins coming your way every week. Hey coin hunters and pocket change prospectors. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a penny in your hand and thought, meh, it's just 1 cent? Well, what if I told you that a certain 1978 Lincoln Memorial penny might be worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million? Yep, you heard that right. $1.5 million. For a penny you might have dropped in your couch cushions back in the 80s. Stick around, because today we're diving deep into the amazing story behind the 1978 Lincoln penny, what makes it so rare, and how you might have one of these million-dollar beauties sitting in a coin jar under your bed. We're talking errors, mintage mysteries, collector madness, and how I almost accidentally used one of these in a vending machine. True story. So grab a drink, kick back, and get ready to learn how 1 cent could change your financial life forever. Let's talk basics first. The 1978 penny was struck at the Denver Mint. That D right below the date? That's the mint mark. More than 4.2 billion of these pennies were minted in Denver that year. So how on earth can a coin that's part of a 4 billion batch be worth over $1 million? See, while the majority of those pennies are worth, well, a penny. A few of them were minted with errors so rare, so bizarre, and so mysterious that collectors will practically throw bricks of cash to get one. And in one case, a pristine example of a double-struck, off-center, full red, high-grade 1978 D penny with a dramatic planchet flaw and near-perfect luster sold at a private auction for $1.5 million. Now let's break down what drives the value of this $1 million copper coin. This baby was graded MS68 red by a top-tier grading service. That's mint state, and red means it still has that fresh from the mint glow. Think of it like the coin equivalent of a brand new Ferrari that's never been driven. Only a few known examples exist with this exact combination of high grade, unique error, and full red color. It's not just rare, it's unicorn-rare. In this case, the coin had multiple striking errors, things like a double strike and a visible off-center rim. Normally, that would be bad. But in the coin world? That's collector gold. Now here's the part where I almost lost one of these bad boys. Picture this. It's 1999. I'm in college, I'm broke, and I'm digging around in my backpack for change to get a bag of peanut M&Ms from the vending machine. I pull out a handful of pennies. One of them looks shiny. I stop. Something feels off. The color is way too rich, almost like it was freshly minted. And the rim looks thicker on one side than the other, but I'm hungry. I shrug. I'm about to drop it in the vending machine when a buddy of mine, big coin nerd, walks by and says, "Whoa, let me see that." He takes the penny, pulls out a loop from his backpack like a magician pulling a rabbit from a hat, and starts examining it. He goes quiet for a minute, then he looks at me and says, "Dude, you were about to feed a vending machine a $1,000 coin." Long story short, it wasn't the $1 million one. But it did get me a couple $100 when I sold it to a local collector. Lesson learned, always check your change. Let's go a bit deeper into what else makes the 1978 D penny interesting. This coin is made from 95% copper and 5% zinc. That copper content alone makes it worth more than face value, especially with copper prices soaring over the past decade. But the real gold, or copper, in this case, is in the strike quality and rarity. So if you're digging through rolls of coins, look for a strong D mint mark, sharp details on Lincoln's hair and jacket, deep red color, no contact marks or scratches, and if you spot any unusual features like a double date or off-center rim, don't dismiss it. That could be your ticket to millionaire status. Here's your quick checklist for spotting a potential $1 million 1978 D penny. Flip it over and inspect Lincoln's profile. Is it razor sharp? That's a good sign. Look at the color. A red penny has that bright, coppery glow. Any weird doubling in the date or letters? That's called a double die, and it can be valuable. Check the rim. Off-center? Raised edges? Unusual thickness? Jackpot. If you think you've got a winner, get it graded. Use a reputable third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC. It might cost a few bucks, but it could reveal you've got a coin worth more than your car, your house, or your entire retirement fund. Now let me say something for all the skeptics out there. Coin collecting isn't just some dusty old hobby for retired dudes with magnifying glasses. It's real. It's exciting. And it's growing. People just like you, folks in their 30s, 40s, 50s, are finding serious value in pocket change. Not to mention, it's a blast. It's like treasure hunting without the need for a shovel. There's nothing like that moment when you flip over a penny and realize it could be worth a fortune. It's like finding a golden ticket in a chocolate bar, and you never know. The next time you pay for your coffee with exact change, you might be handing away a $1.5 million penny. The 1978 D. Lincoln Memorial penny might seem like just another coin in your change jar. But a perfect specimen with the right errors and grade could be worth $1.5 million. That's not a rumor. That's not hype. That's a real thing. Start checking your change. Grab a coin magnifier online. Study mint marks, understand coin errors, and get familiar with what makes a coin valuable, and most importantly, don't overlook the pennies. Because sometimes the smallest coins bring the biggest surprises. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on valuable coins, collector strategies, and how to turn your pocket change into serious cash, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends who still think pennies are useless. And hey, leave a comment below. Have you ever found a rare coin in the wild? Or do you think you've got a hidden treasure sitting in a coin jar? Hey there, coin hunters and penny pinchers, don't touch that dial because what I'm about to tell you could turn that jar of just pennies sitting in your kitchen into $1 million gold mine. You heard me right. We're talking about the 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln Memorial Penny, a coin you've probably seen 100 times and never thought twice about. Well, guess what? One of these sneaky little cents is worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million today. Now, I know what you're thinking, come on, it's just a penny. But what if I told you that this penny, this ordinary-looking copper coin, could be hiding in your couch cushions right now? So grab your magnifying glass, put on your treasure hunting hat, and buckle up because for the next 50 minutes, we're diving deep into what makes the 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny so incredibly valuable, and by the end, you'll know exactly how to spot one, what gives it that massive value, and how to avoid throwing a fortune in the donation jar. Plus, I've got a personal story involving pancakes, a flea market, and a lucky coin you won't want to miss. Let's go back to 1980. The year of Pac-Man, disco fading into oblivion, and Ronald Reagan preparing to move into the White House. At the U.S. Mint, millions upon millions of Lincoln Memorial pennies were being struck. Most had a mint mark, either D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But a small number, an extremely small number, came out with no mint mark at all. Now, not having a mint mark doesn't automatically mean you've struck copper gold. It just means the coin was minted in Philadelphia. But in rare cases, the absence of a mint mark combined with other factors like an off-metal strike, double die errors, or being struck on the wrong planchet can create a rarity that collectors go wild for. And that's where our $1 million coin enters the scene. Now, let's get into the $1 million meat of the story. There are 3 big reasons why a 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny could be worth $1.8 million. Some were mistakenly struck on planchets meant for dimes, foreign coins, or even earlier pennies with different compositions. When this happens, collectors pay big-time premiums. That's right. If the letters on the front of your coin, like "In God We Trust" or "Liberty," look doubled, you might have a double die error, one of the most sought-after mistakes in the coin world. This one's huge. A 1980 penny with no mint mark in nearly perfect condition, uncirculated and shimmering with that original mint luster, can send auction prices into the stratosphere. We're talking prices well into 6 and 7 figures. Combine all 3 of those things, a coin from Philly with a minting error in top condition, and you've got yourself a 1-cent coin worth nearly $2 million. All right, let's get practical. You're at home, you've dumped a mountain of pennies on your kitchen table, and you're squinting at each one like it's a lottery ticket. Here's what you want to look for. No mint mark under the date, a date that clearly reads 1980, any sign of doubling on the front. Especially on the Liberty or "In God We Trust" letters, weird coloration or thickness. Some error coins were struck on foreign planchets. Weight. The standard copper penny from 1980 should weigh around 3.11 grams. Anything significantly lighter or heavier might be something special. Got a kitchen scale? Time to become a coin detective. This is where things get fun and nerve-wracking. Coin auctions are serious business. That one 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that sold for $1.8 million? It changed hands at a private auction attended by top collectors and dealers from around the world. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers can help you get your coin authenticated, graded, and showcased to the right buyers. And speaking of grading, if your penny gets certified as MS-67 or higher, that's when the real money starts pouring in. Now let me tell you a little story. A few years back, I hit up this flea market on a Sunday morning, mostly to eat pancakes and pretend I had money to spend on antique furniture. I stopped by this booth where an older gentleman was selling loose change in jars, literally selling it by the pound like it was trail mix. I figured, why not? Bought a whole jar for $10. I took it home, poured it out, and went full Sherlock Holmes. And right there, stuck to the bottom of the jar with maple syrup residue, was a 1980 penny with no mint mark. It looked a little off. The lettering was funny. I didn't think much of it until I did a little research. Now, no, I didn't strike the $1.8 million jackpot. But that penny turned out to be worth a few $1,000s. Enough to make me a believer and to get me a really, really nice new pancake griddle. Let me hit you with a few final tips if you're serious about hunting for the 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Use good lighting. Errors are easier to spot when everything's well lit. Invest in a jeweler's loupe or USB microscope. Learn how to weigh coins accurately. Clean your coins. It can destroy value. Store possible finds safely in coin flips or protective holders. Get your coins graded by PCGS or NGC if you Suspect it's valuable, and remember, every penny you find could be the one. All it takes is one lucky coin to change your life. So there you have it, my friends. The humble 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln Memorial Penny, something most people overlook, but a few lucky souls have cashed in on to the tune of $1.8 million. This isn't just about coins. It's about opportunity hiding in plain sight. It's about looking closer, paying attention to the small stuff, and understanding that sometimes the tiniest things have the biggest stories to tell. If you've got a penny jar, now's the time to dump it out and take a closer look. Who knows, you might just be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. If you enjoyed this deep dive into penny profits, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a tip that could turn pocket change into payday. I've got more videos on rare coins, auction strategies, and collecting hacks coming your way soon. Hey there, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and anyone who's ever wondered if that lonely penny in your junk drawer might just make you a millionaire. Let me ask you something, you heard that right. Not 16 bucks. Not 160. We're talking 1.6 million cold, hard, green American dollars. That's enough to buy a house in Malibu or 800,000 Big Macs, depending on your priorities. Today, we're diving into the world of the 1985 no-mint Mark Lincoln Memorial Penny, the hidden champion of couch cushions and change jars everywhere. So grab your coin jar, settle into that recliner, and get ready. We're going on a 50-minute journey through numismatic gold, or in this case, copper-plated zinc glory. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Ronald Reagan was in the White House, Madonna was topping the charts, and Back to the Future had us all dreaming of DeLoreans and hoverboards. Meanwhile, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia quietly churned out millions of Lincoln Memorial pennies, each with the image of O.L. Honest Abe facing right, with no mint mark under the date. You see, Philadelphia typically doesn't include a mint mark on its coins, that's just how they roll. So the 1985 no mint mark penny is actually from Philly. Now here's the kicker, while most of these pennies are common and worth, well, 1 cent, a few rare versions escaped into the wild that had something extra, whether it was a minting error, a special composition, or an unusual strike. And that's where the magic happens. There are a few things collectors drool over when it comes to rare coins: condition, rarity, and errors. And this particular 1985 penny checks all the boxes. First off, it was struck on a bronze planchet. That's the kind of metal blank used before 1982, when pennies were mostly copper. In 1985, pennies were supposed to be copper-plated zinc. But every now and then, one of those leftover bronze blanks slipped through the system like a rogue time traveler from the past. And to top it off, the coin we're talking about was found in pristine, uncirculated condition. We're talking MS-68 red. That's nearly flawless in coin grading terms. Combine an ultra-rare composition with mint condition and a little bit of mystery. Boom. You've got $1 million coin on your hands. A few years back, I was helping my grandpa clean out his garage. You know, old fishing rods, expired cans of paint, the works. In one dusty drawer, we found an old Folgers coffee tin, and inside, hundreds of pennies. Some shiny, some dark, some stuck together with, I don't even want to know what. A 1985 penny with no mint mark, darker than the rest. I didn't think much of it, but I threw it in my pocket for fun. Weeks later, I was binge-watching coin videos like the one you're watching now and came across one about 1985 no mint mark pennies. I pulled that sucker out, and for a moment I thought I hit the jackpot. Turns out mine wasn't the rare one, but the experience taught me something. There's real treasure hiding in plain sight. You don't need a metal detector or a pirate ship. Sometimes all you need is an old coin jar and a little curiosity. Alright, now let's get down to business. Here's how you can tell if your 1985 penny might be worth millions. Regular 1985 pennies should weigh 2.5 grams, that's the standard for copper-plated zinc. But the rare bronze planchet versions? They weigh 3.1 grams. So grab a scale, preferably one that can measure in grams, and check your pennies. Bronze coins tend to have a deeper, reddish hue compared to the lighter tone of copper-plated zinc. That rich color could be a sign of old-school copper hiding under that surface. If your penny looks like it just rolled off the press with no scratches or nicks, that's a good sign. Coins graded MS-67 or MS-68 red are the cream of the crop, and that's what fetches top dollar. There are 1985 pennies with double dies, off-center strikes, and even repunched mint marks, even though there's no mint mark. Some errors show signs of something unusual under the date. If you've got one that looks off, don't toss it, research it, or take it to a coin dealer. Think heritage auctions or stacks bowers. They deal with serious collectors willing to pay top dollar. Reputable dealers can give you an appraisal, though you might not get the full value. Send your coin to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. It costs a little, but it adds big-time credibility. Online marketplaces, eBay can be a coin minefield, but if you have a properly graded, authenticated coin, it can reach serious bidders fast. Remember, always get multiple opinions before parting with a rare coin. Now, a few tips to keep you from losing your shirt. Don't clean your coin. I know it's tempting to make it look nice, but cleaning destroys the original surface and slashes its value. Don't assume your penny is worthless just because it's not shiny. Age and patina can actually add value. Don't trust random online buyers offering you cash fast without proof of expertise. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Do your homework, stay curious, and trust your instincts. The 1985 Lincoln penny was the 77th year of Lincoln's face appearing on the coin. Over 5 billion 1985 no-mint mark pennies were minted, which means the rare ones are needles in a haystack. A coin collector once traded a rare penny for a Porsche. Now that's what I call a sensible investment. Also, did you know some 1985 pennies have die cracks that look like Lincoln has a horn? Yep. Some collectors call them Devil Lincoln coins. The humble 1985 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. From pocket change to potential millionaire maker, this little coin proves that you don't have to dig for gold to strike it rich. Whether you're a hardcore numismatist or just someone who likes a good treasure hunt, one thing's for sure. Checking your change is officially cool again. If you learned something today, or if you're now sprinting to your coin jar with excitement, then do me a favor, smash that subscribe button like it owes you money. Hit the bell so you never miss a tip on coins worth millions, and leave a comment below telling me the coolest coin you've ever found. The next fortune might be sitting in your wallet right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where your spare change might just make you a millionaire. Yep, you heard that right. So before you go dumping the jar of pennies into a Coinstar machine, let me ask you this. I know. That sounds like something your uncle with the tinfoil hat says before telling you the government's hiding Elvis. But I'm serious. Today, we're talking about one unassuming little copper-colored coin that has quietly made waves in the world of collectors, the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny. And yes, its current market value has shot up to an astonishing $1.70 million. So buckle up, grab a cup of coffee, maybe even dig into that couch cushion. You might just be sitting on a fortune. Let's break down how this common coin became cash king. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1988 Lincoln Memorial cent is a copper-plated zinc coin that weighs in at just 2.5 grams. It features good old Honest Abe on the front, looking serious, like he knows he's worth millions, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. These pennies were produced by the billions. So how the heck did one of these end up worth more than a house in the suburbs, or more specifically, rare die varieties? Now, the no-mint mark part just means it was struck in Philadelphia. In 1988, Philly didn't put mint marks on pennies, so that part's normal, but here's where it gets juicy. Some 1988 pennies, especially the valuable ones, were struck using a reverse die intended for a 1989 cent. That means some coins have a different style of engraving on the FG, that's Frank Gasparo's initials, the guy who designed the reverse. Collectors call it the 1988 reverse of 89 variety. This error is so subtle, most people never notice it. But coin collectors? They go nuts for this kind of thing. It's like finding a typo on a first edition Harry Potter book that makes it worth $100,000. Same deal. A few years back, I was helping my dad clean out his garage. You know, the usual dusty boxes, mysterious nuts and bolts that didn't match any tool, and jars of pennies. Tons of them. Being the self-proclaimed family treasure hunter, I took a few jars home and told my wife, "Honey, don't laugh, but I'm gonna retire off these coins." She laughed anyway. Hard. There it was. A 1988 penny. No mint mark. Crisp FG initials that looked a little off. I thought maybe my eyes were playing tricks. So I Googled it. And my jaw hit the floor. Now, mine turned out to be just a regular old 1988, not the rare variety, but I was this close. Moral of the story? Always check your coins. And don't tell your wife your retirement plan involves pocket change. Alright, let's dive into the juicy part. Why someone would pay the price of a Ferrari or 5 for a single penny. It all comes down to rarity, condition, and collector demand. The 1988 reverse of 89 variety is already rare, but when you find one in high mint state condition, like MS67 or above, you're entering a whole new world. There are only a handful of these known to exist in such pristine shape. Add to that the fact that collectors are willing to drop major cash to complete their sets with rare errors, and you've got a market willing to push prices into the millions. Also, let's not ignore the role of coin grading companies like PCGS and NGC. A certified grade from these pros can bump your coin's value faster than a viral TikTok cat. Flip the penny and check the FG initials next to the Lincoln Memorial. On the rare version, the initials are further from the base and slightly different in design. Use a magnifier. Your smartphone camera might work if you zoom in and hold steady. Look for that sharper, more defined FG. If you think it's the real deal, do not, I repeat, do not clean it. That's like washing a vintage comic book with dish soap. Just send it to a reputable coin grading company and let them work their magic. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, trusted dealers who specialize in rare U.S. coins, online platforms like eBay. But only if you've got the certification to back it up, and remember, don't rush. Big money takes time. Do your research, get several opinions, and don't let anyone lowball you. You've got a tiny copper coin worth more than a Lamborghini. Flex that power. This isn't some long-lost pirate doubloon or diamond-studded gold coin. It's a penny. A single, regular-looking cent that most people wouldn't even bother to pick up off the ground. And yet, under the right circumstances, it's worth $1.70 million. Sometimes, the biggest treasures come in the smallest packages. Literally. So next time you get change at the grocery store, don't be so quick to toss those pennies into a jar. One of them might just change your life. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and you want more tips on spotting rare coins hiding in plain sight, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Tap the bell so you never miss a money-making moment. And leave a comment telling me what weirdest coin you've ever found. We might just feature it in a future video.